Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, Patsun, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/cheating stories, where we see examples of cheaters never running out of ridiculous excuses. Let's begin. Another cheating wife story, posted by Reddit user Mixed Adonis.
Hey guys, new here and thought I would tell my story here, especially since many of you can directly relate. I'm 33, wife is 36. I'm going to try and condense it as much as possible. I noticed over the summer my wife was extremely stressed from her job. She recently was promoted and had taken on way more responsibilities at work. Understandably, I didn't take things too personally when she would come home stressed or wake up in a grumpy mood. I didn't mind her venting to me and hearing her out and trying to be as supporting as I could. Additionally, she worked graveyard shifts, so her sleep was always never enough, plus picking up hours to help her boss out. We got into some pretty harsh fights at a few points during that time span in which she was the instigator. I honestly couldn't understand why she was blowing up on me and just chalked it up to stress and just estrogen. This is when I suspect she had started to become acquainted with a coworker of hers. Come October, my wife is now working nonstop, and I notice she's putting way more effort into her appearance before going into work. I took note but just figured she was changing her style to better suit her position. This is when I think she had made up her mind to physically cheat with this other guy. Me and her were barely spending any time together, and she just seemed severely disinterested in anything I was doing. She became a lot more withdrawn from me. She used to tell me about everything that was going on at her job, but not anymore. Barely a conversation. She would literally just go to work, come home and sleep and repeat. One night after we came home from touring a potential school for her daughter, we got into another argument. Essentially, she never communicated to me that she was going to work that night, and I was looking forward to spending time together that night. That same night after the argument, I just felt like something was off and straight up asked her if there was anyone else, which she vehemently denied, calling me crazy and ridiculous. Fast forward about a week or two, I picked up a AirTag and taped it under her car. Her behavior got increasingly more disrespectful and erratic, and she started hanging out with these girls against my wishes. Another fight happens and she leaves the house telling me she was calling into work. Lo and behold, she went over to some guy's apartment and spent the night. 12 years and 2 kids. Her excuse: she wanted attention. What the fuck? She has been apparently talking to him for several months. Claims she was able to open up to him and confide in him without judgment, which apparently made her decide to want to fuck him. We've done everything. Therapy, me pouring my heart out, conversation after conversation. Months later she is still in communication with him. It's pretty much a done deal with us. I'm legitimately traumatized by the betrayal and deception. It's hard to fathom how someone that you would take a bullet for can just rip your heart out like that.
OP, whatever you do not play the pick-me game. She is in the affair fog right now, so this is the perfect time to file for divorce and get out relatively unscathed financially. OP, you need to get a parenting app and go no contact with her. Do the gray rock, 180 her. Do not beg for reconciliation. Do not be emotional in front of her. You are only feeding her ego. OP, talk to a lawyer as soon as you can. Put yourself and your children first. You need to show them what a strong parent would do. You need to show them how to stand up to someone who disrespects you and hold them accountable. Good luck, man. And now for today's second story. What would you do? How would you react? Did my wife cheat? Posted by Reddit user JessPat.
What would you do and think? Me and my wife have been married since 2010. Background: she has cheated on me physically when we were engaged in our 20s. She openly admitted it, and for lack of better terms, we repaired and moved on. I have never cheated physically but have hidden things: cigarettes, chew, sometimes weed. She's confronted me in the past, to which I've denied and accepted usage. My wife works from home. She has a couple female coworkers in the same city whom we've known for years. All other coworkers are across country. She travels twice a year for her annual sales meeting and to film ad spots. The latter is only to travel with a small group of coworkers. The former is the majority of company. She has a male coworker who used to be her boss. He travels to both events, John Doe. She talks equally to me about all her coworkers, but I notice she always mentions he has similar taste in things: Real Housewives shows, music, etc. Let me first say, I know how work trips go. People get drunk or drink, laugh, have a good time, and go back to their rooms. On her recent trip, I discovered that after a night of hanging out, that my wife and John Doe went back to his room. She texted him at 3:27 a.m., "How you doing? Looks like our dashboard party might not happen." Her next text was at 5:47 a.m., "Safe." He replied, "God bless, I enjoyed our time listening to Dr. Dog in Dashboard." The following morning, he texted, "Remember when we stayed up singing Dashboard? Well, I heard every word of my neighbors this morning and I assure you they did." Her reply, "We should have charged them admission, we gave them a show." I know they chatted previous to this work trip about listening to her Spotify playlist during this trip, as they share the same taste in music. Before this trip, for years, anytime Dashboard would play when we were together, she would change songs as it reminded her of high school. Which I understand, we have songs that strike us and we can't listen to. But when she returned from her recent trip, she messaged her coworker, "Good news, now when I listen to Dashboard, I no longer think of my ex in high school." I asked her vaguely if anything happened on the trip that would make me uncomfortable, or if roles were switched, if she would be uncomfortable. She vehemently insists nothing happened and she wasn't in any situation I wouldn't approve of. She told me she was hurt I asked and wondered if any of her coworkers came home the same questions. I really believe nothing physical happened, what do you think? But the emotional aspect of it is eating me up.
OP, what we think about your situation doesn't really matter. You're a pathetic simp, so regardless if she sucked his dick or not, you would still welcome her with open arms just like when you did before when she cheated the first time. Have fun raising Chad's children, OP, and being a cuck for the rest of your life. And now for today's final story. My mom's been having an affair for 4 months. Posted by Reddit user Dude Drummer.
I'm 22 years old, so I'm an adult, but I don't know why it's affecting me so much emotionally. My dad is completely destroyed. I'm terrified. He got so drunk the other day he destroyed the house and we had to call the cops. My mom's in another country right now. Her excuse to go was to be with her family for the holidays, but now we know it was to see someone she met 4 months ago. My dad was suspicious, so he flew out and found out. She told him she doesn't love him anymore and she wants a divorce. I'm not sure what I'm going to do when I see my mom. She comes back tomorrow. I would have never expected this and I don't know how to forgive her, although I do want to because I love my mom. But she destroyed my family. My dad's going to move out, I think, and my siblings too. I don't have a good paying job and I'm still in school. I'm probably going to hold off on finishing until I'm in a better place mentally and literally physically. I'll probably find a place with my dad, I'm not sure. I'm just broken right now. I've lived in this house all my life. I thought my parents were happy and loved each other. It sucks to see my dad like this when all my life I've thought of him as so strong. I love him so much. Edit. Thank you for the replies. A lot of you made me realize my mom is a fucked up person and I don't need to forgive her. Someone said to look at it as if she died or got possessed, and that helped me realize I don't know who she is anymore and don't care to. Of course it's easier said than done, but I feel more comfortable with the fact that I don't need to bring myself to forgive her. As for my dad, he's going to stay with my sister. We put his stuff in bags and when he gets back, he's gonna grab them and go there. I spoke to him and he said even though his heart is broken, he feels free. And he still has his kids and grandkids. He says he'll be okay. I'm going to look after him and make sure he knows it's not his fault. I haven't spoken to my mom yet, but when she comes back I know she's going to try to pin it on my dad. I'll make sure she knows it was her own selfish desires. Thank you again everyone, I'll continue to update. And now for OP's update. I want to thank everyone again for all the advice. I didn't reply to a lot of the people that helped me, so I'll just say thank you here. It means a lot that all these strangers care about my situation and know just what to say. Anyway, I am so mentally exhausted today. My mom came back this morning and I tried to tell her how upset and hopeless I felt, but she had nothing to say but excuses. She says my dad has hurt her so much all these years and that she never felt desired by him. She's also saying she didn't sleep with this guy, only kissed once and messaged him for a week after she met him 4 months ago. So I'm not sure if they were talking for 4 months. When she went back to her home country to visit my sister and her granddaughter for Christmas, the guy found out and messaged her saying he wanted to see her, so she did. She says it was only twice, both times for 20 minutes. I don't know if that's true. When my dad was suspicious, he decided to fly out with my other sister and found lingerie in her luggage. She says it was a gift to her sister because in her country, apparently it's a tradition to wear lingerie after New Year's. Can anyone tell me if they've ever heard of this anywhere? Anyway, it doesn't even matter because I'm not sure if I believe her. She swears on God that she didn't sleep with this man and only messaged him for a week, and she's saying it's because of how my dad made her feel. I want to believe that she did it for her own selfish desires. There was an incident many years ago when I was a kid where my mom believed my dad cheated on her. There was no proof and he swore he didn't, so she stayed and we stayed a happy family. Now she's saying it's not fair all her kids are mad at her since my dad did the same years ago and no one cared. She's saying it's because he's a man. And she doesn't believe she did anything wrong because she didn't sleep with this man. I don't know who to believe or what to do. I feel like she's blaming everyone but herself, but every time I say that she says she's not blaming anyone. She's mad at my older sister for telling me the truth about the affair. She says she'll never forgive her and that the reason why she told my sister was because my sister told her she was also having an affair. But I literally told her I don't care about any of that. I told her how upset I was and I tried explaining it and then I got emotional and was about to cry and she started laughing. I think I said the words, "You're my mom and he's my dad and we grew up thinking you guys loved each other." And then she laughed in my face. I think they broke my heart even more. I don't know if the love I felt in my childhood was real. I don't know who she is anymore. I feel like I'm grieving someone who's still alive. I don't know what's going to happen with my dad, but he's staying at my sister's house when he gets back. I'm going to show him so much love and support. I just feel like I'm being gaslit by my mom and maybe I'm in the wrong. I don't know. Also, I hope this works because last time I tried updating I wasn't sure if it posted. I don't post too much on Reddit. Thank you again everyone. I keep rereading the comments and it makes me feel better.
OP, if you read enough cheating stories like I did over the years, you will notice that there is a pattern of denial that every cheater on this planet always follows when they are caught. Look, number one, they always downplay events. We didn't have sex. We only talked. We only kissed that day. Number two, they deny evidence. All of it. It's not what you think. This is exactly what happened. And then proceeds to give an outrageous explanation. And number three, they are always all about the excuses. It's not my fault. It's everyone's fault. Everything else is to blame but me. I'm alcoholic. I have relationship issues. I'm depressed. Duh. OP, your mom is full of shit. Cut that cancer out of your life. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.